Is there ever a chance we could get a Westside Connection reunion with you, Dub, and Mac 10?
Probably not.
Crucial 13, you all appreciate it. Shout out to you.
Get crucial.
I'm hungry. I need some bacon.
Look at this. Look at it. This is the city I'm in right now. Okay, I pulled out the receipts and the clips, the video clips for this one. So y'all definitely want to tune into this. Hit the subscribe button if you ain't already subscribed. Hit the like button and leave a comment in the chat, especially if you got info, because a lot of great people left comments in my last video about Ice Cube. And a lot of the comments were very informative, and a lot of the comments was very idiotic, and we will address all of them. Now, before I read this pinned comment right here, I thought it was good to pin this so people could get the gist of what's really going on with this. Some people are, saying Ice Cube, he ruins his relationships with everybody because he owes people money and he just screwing people over, kind of like what a lot of people do with Master P. They, there's a whole bunch of people come out the woodwork saying all type of stuff. Well, I've got clips actually debunking all of that. And salute to this dude that posted this pinned comment. Let me read this before we get into this. His name is Hound House 94 Radio 88. If you got a platform, big salute to you. Y'all go check him out. He says, long story short, Ice Cube's wife's brother was basically flexing off his watches and jewelry in front of MFs, acting like he the man, telling people what to do, which is how I could see like a lot of negative type people taking some things that way. I know a lot of people that have jobs don't like they boss telling them what to do. It's just some mentality street motherfuckers got. You know what I mean? Like they work at Walmart and their boss come and say, hey, bro, we need that cleaned up on aisle 6. Don't tell me what to do, cuz you ain't my boss. Oh, shit, yes, you are. But I don't like it. All right, but again, I don't know the details, so I'm just speculating. But so he continues. One day a tour came up and Mac 10 didn't go. But his homies went. They ended up robbing the brother's shit all off the bus. The brother got mad and wanted Mac to be held accountable, which is understandable, because how come you're all of a sudden not there, but your peoples is there and they robbing my shit? I would have been questioning that. And y'all stay tuned, because I got the files off a lot of this. The brother got mad and wanted Mac to be held accountable, so he confronts Mac about it. Mac's like, I ain't know that shit happened, apologized and got rid of the homies that stole. Nope, not good enough. The brother wanted Mac gone too, and we don't know why. We still got to get the inside scoop of how that dialect went between them to where he's like, nah, something fishy with Mac 10. Keep that in mind, bro, as you don't know these other people's stories, because a lot of people ain't talking about it. All right? And this ends up developing to where Mac 10 just said, F it, and slapped his ass. Sure, now we're going to see a clip of what Mac 10 was asked of, and he ended up going against Ice Cube's words, and this is what happens. But yes, Mac 10 slapped the shit out the brother. After that, Cube's wife is angry and gives Cube a choice. You either stay with Mac 10 or you gotta choose us and get rid of him. So Cube got rid of Mac 10, and that's what happened to the Westside Connection. I heard this story from the OGs in LA, and yes, I've confirmed, which we will see, that a lot of people know this story.
Is there ever a chance we could get a Westside Connection reunion with you, Dub, and Mac 10?
Probably not. Probably not.
Wow.
I don't want to do another Westside Connection.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw Mac 10 on VladTV, and I always wonder what happened with that relationship.
When you get him on,
his side,
of course he do. Of course he do. I don't want to talk about it, to be honest, because he know what it is. That's all that need to matter to me.
This whole situation really has nothing to do with Cube. Zero to do with Cube. This ain't got nothing to do with Cube on no arrogant shit, on no just because shit. Mack, no, that ain't tripping. Come on, Mack. You know what happened, bro. You know what went on. You know what the request was. You know the decision that was made, bro. And I ain't gonna say it was all the way on you, but you know whatever with you, you're responsible for.
So before we continue, you can see Wack is saying that there was a request being made. Could that mean Cube may have told Mack 10, hey, just dead that, bro. That's my family. Like, I've been with this woman way before I knew y'all. You know, this is my brother-in-law. And if anybody of y'all got a close family, you close with your girl, something like that, you know that her brother is basically your brother. So we don't, a lot of people in my comments speaking like this just, oh, that's just his girl's brother. Like, he don't know this dude or something. Like, they only acquaintances. All right, that's my girl brother. Fuck him. Bro, that ain't how all families work. And whatever him and the brother going through, what Mack 10 and the brother was talking about to why he was being confronted for his guys robbing him, must have been so much that the brother was standing on what he was standing on, like, nah, something weird about that. And Mack 10 like felt so, you know, enraged about it that he had to slap the dude, even though Ice Cube, the month that you making money with and stuff like that, telling you leave that alone. Now hold up, it gets interesting. Let's just continue.
He's not even finna give nobody no conversation about Mack 10. He talked to me. Dub talked to me. Q talked to me. You will not get Q to have them type of conversations. But what I'm saying is Mack 10 knows the issue is not personal. Like, it's personal, but he put Cube in a bad spot. You know what I'm saying? And Cube asked for something not happen, and it happened anyway. And you know, Cube is a family man. You know, he a family man. He ain't going against his family. So you know, at the end of the day, if it came down to the group not being there versus his household not being happy for whatever reason, the group gonna lose.
Now that's interesting that he was asked not to do this shit and he could not handle himself enough to handle that. But look at this comment right here. Chris Pina says Mack couldn't check his set, shows his position in hierarchy. Now that's an interesting comment because I found a clip that actually supports this. And before we get into that clip, my family is more important than this street bullshit that y'all enforcing on a family member of mine. And a lot of people like, oh, but Cube let this brother get in the way of the bag. Like he needed that so much. Like that was the focal point of his life that he just ruined all the money he could have ever made by picking his family over some street bullshit that he asked to be calmed down. He asked for that shit to be subdued and everything. It just couldn't happen because Mack has this reputation of his homies kind of getting out of line. We're about to show you this. Now right here, this dude replies to this comment saying he can't control grown men. What set you from? Exactly. You don't even know what you're talking about. Pretending. What are you talking about? Y'all blaming this on Ice Cube like he can't control the brother who was a victim of somebody who couldn't control they peoples. The hell you talking about?
You recently insinuated that Mack 10 and Ice Cube were not being 100% truthful when it comes to the reasons as to why Westside Connection broke up. Can you go into more detail about that?
Yeah. They've both recently been speaking on it a little bit in the press. This is what really happened, y'all. This is what really happened. And you remember Mack 10 had this song, which is ironically funny, because this is how the conversation came up with me and CJ Mac initially. And he was just telling me how me and Mack is not real, you know, when he was signed to his label and stuff.
That's kind of how I started to get respect.
He said, you know, I'm from 60s. I grew up in the 60s area. And Mack, you know, with the Inglewood dudes. He said, I went over, Mack come over my hood, my dudes embraced them and all of that. He said, when Mack come, when I go to Mack hood, little Paru dudes was pressing and stuff, and Mack couldn't say nothing, wouldn't say nothing, and they were pressing me and stuff. He was like, man, those dudes don't respect Mack over there. And I like Mack. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like Mack.
Wow, no way. So are you telling me that Wack 100 said that, hey man, if them people are with you, you know they up under you, you got the word over that. Reggie Wright is saying he heard that Mack 10 can't control his people. CJ Mac, who as you can see right on the screen, just did an interview with Ice Cube hours ago, which we'll cover as well, said that this dude can't control his people. I'm getting pressed by all his people, and he come to my hood, and everybody know better than if I say he good, he good. That mean don't even look over there. You know what I mean? And Crucial 13 had enough sense to question why even are his peoples robbing somebody like Ice Cube's brother-in-law. And people in my comments talking like, oh, Cube let him mess up the bag. Bro, I wish the hell anybody I'm putting on like that, making albums with and everything, any one of their people touch any one of my family. And at the end of the day, Ice Cube bag is gonna be good. What the hell? He was making Barbershop. He was making all these type of movies when this type of stuff was going on, bro. The only bag that got messed up, if anything, was Mack 10's. But he's the soldier. He's the one who's supposed to make sure his peoples ain't doing no shit like that. If he got, and not to say that the fact that he don't got no pull makes him a bad person or something like that, but if he got any type of respect, dude, like, tell these people relax. What the hell is wrong with y'all, bro?
But what really happened for the breakup is they were about to go on this big Westside Connection tour sometime in early 2000s, mid 2000s. The Badal and all of that, when it was hot, and a little bit after that, they were about to go make some money. But in the meantime, Ice Cube and his wife have a great relationship. One that's like, you know, Cookie and Magic Johnson, and, you know, people that's been together for a while that stuck with their woman. And they've been together for a while. And so she kind of like run and deal with a lot of stuff. But Mack 10 have a Paru blood entourage, and they have Crips entourage, right? Not saying anybody gangbang or anything like that. But the entourage is us. And some of Mack 10 do rob his wife. I think her name is Kim, I forget her name. But robs his wife's brother. And she was furious. Mack 10 brother was, wife was furious. Not Mack 10, I'm sorry. Ice Cube wife was furious. So she told Cube, nah, you ain't making no money, you ain't doing nothing with him. And she put the smash down. Now, one thing I do like about him, and I got this from this horse's mouth, W.C, she was like, we ain't doing it, but W.C and Mack needed some money. They were, depending on this tour. She took care of W.C. Mack 10, Ice Cube and the wife, they elected to pay Dub. That's why Dub and Cube are still cool to this day. But she said, we ain't messing with Mack 10 no more. And he ain't making no money off of us. And so.
Now keep in mind that there were things that led up to them making that decision. Cube told him, hey, certain things cannot happen and then everything gonna be good. But them things was not, them demands, or if you want to call it demands, I ain't even trying to use a word strong like that to make it seem like, oh, Cube demanded. No, listen, some things just can't happen, bro. This is my family, you know what I'm saying? Control all that. And it wasn't controlled, which is not foreign to how people perceive Mack 10's pull with some of these people. Some people are saying like, nah, he can't control them. And it's cool to, cause you can't, as a man, you can't control another man. Another man can't control me. You know what I mean? But am I moving righteous or am I moving lawless? Because being controlled when you moving righteous, that's, you can't control me like that. But if I'm out of line, somebody, an OG, somebody that's in charge or something like that, has a right to correct you. So after all the back and forth between the wife's brother and Mack 10, Ice Cube and Mack 10, everybody behind the scenes, it ends up to where the wife is like, nah, we can't rock with him. Now, everybody who got a girl, you got a wife, you got anything, y'all know y'all is one. Y'all move as a unit. If my wife ain't happy or something like that, and some people of hers is getting robbed and all type of shit like that, bro, she got a right to be like, hey, we ain't fucking with dude. And most of the time, a real female knows who is your friend and who is not. A real female could point out some shit in one of your friends and be like, hey, dude, he not solid. And before we continue, I ain't saying Mack 10 ain't solid or nothing like that, because from what I can see, Mack 10 is solid. He just might not have, he just might not be organized to the point, where he, at that time, where he was able to tell motherfuckers what to do. And if they was going to respect his word, or here go the thing. What if he didn't tell them to hold back? That's the whole thing with me is Mack 10 seemed like a respectful dude and seemed like, it is what it is, but he might not have called the words like he was supposed to. He might not have called the shots like he was supposed to. And he might have just been like, shit, hey, it is what it is. That's why I'm looking at the fact that we judging the brother for, so-called messing up the bag. But what transpired behind the scenes? Some reason the dude was like, nah, Mack 10 shiesty. And you got to consider all this type of stuff when you're thinking about this. We only hear Mack 10 side and stuff like that. And it's commendable that Ice Cube ain't taking all this stuff to the public. What I learned is keeping stuff off the internet. And yeah, Mack 10 kept it off the internet for all this time, but still you ended up talking about it anyway and giving your side to make you seem like you was in the right and stuff. And for some reason, Cube and them don't feel like that. So whatever, just giving some context.
That's the real to why Dub Sneak still mess with Q, but Mack 10 and their relationship was not great to this day, is because quite frankly, Mack 10 couldn't control his homeboys and his entourages, and cost him money from touring Westside. But like I said, Mack doing his thing now, doing some touring and putting some stuff on behind the scenes, and Dub C and Cube, they still do little shows here and there. None of them will tell me I'm lying. That didn't happen.
And there you have that. A lot of reputable people in the industry know exactly what happened with this and seem to understand exactly why Ice Cube made the decision that he made. It's only you motherfuckers in the comments. Ice Cube is a simp. Damn, guys. He's a simp. Alright, y'all ain't got no bitch. That's the problem. Y'all internet motherfuckers just be saying shit to sound cool, bro. Like, y'all be the same motherfuckers that say you believe in polygamy and, man, I got 50 bitches, cuz, and they all my wife. The hell you talking about? Speaking about how a man and his woman is like a perfect union. They love each other. They've been down with each other for years. You don't even understand that way of thinking. And you saying this man a simp because he said, Mack 10, don't fucking rob or don't slap my wife's brother. That's my brother too. Don't slap him, please. All right, cuz, I got you, blah. And then he end up doing it. But Ice Cube a simp because somebody didn't respect what the fuck he was telling them. I'm telling you, dude, these internet, man, man, y'all really be thinking y'all know what y'all saying in the comments and all that type of stuff, bro. Sometimes real life is superseding this internet bullshit and this cool reputation that y'all want to maintain. Oh, man, Ice Cube ain't real. Oh, Mack 10, he real, cuz. He's so real. Stop fucking crying. And I'm not saying he not real, cuz from what I think he is. But at the end of the day, bro, a lot of people just take stuff out of context. They look at one side because that's the only side talking, and they don't got no discernment, no actually common sense to look at both sides and then, you know, peep game when the game ain't even all the way being showed, you know what I mean? Like, most people gotta see stuff to believe stuff, but most people who smart and actually got common sense about themselves could peep game from a mile away, bro. It don't gotta be all in your fucking face to peep what the fuck going on, bro. But y'all going off just cause somebody's talking. But he's a blood, he's real. I believe him. Okay, CJ Mac and W.C is Crips. You don't believe them? Bloods is more realer than Crips? Not saying either one is realer than the other. I'm just saying, make it make sense. Wack 100's a blood. he said, yeah, Mac 10, you know what happened. Not saying Wack is the most, you know, reputable dude in the world neither. But for the most part, you know, he has some solid traits about himself. But now stay tuned, because right after this, I'm doing a video debunking a lot of these comments. I'm providing clips, I'm providing sources that's saying Ice Cube just screws people out of money. He doesn't pay them. He pays Chris Tucker and CDs. Like, dog, these people is really tweaking. So stay tuned. That video is coming next, man. We're going to end this one off. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because YouTube be playing with the notifications. Hit the like button on all my videos. Let me know what y'all think of in the comments. I ain't woke, I'm up.
Crucial 13, you all appreciated. Shout out to you.
Yeah, crucial. I'm hungry. I need some bacon. Look at this.
Look at it. This is the city I'm in right now.